Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Guys, I'm just sitting here doing a little research about bed bugs, and I'm looking at where some of the pest control companies and statistics, and I guess this according to the calls they get and how they have to go out to treat, for bed bugs. Now, it said Chicago has been ranked #1 for the third consecutive year of having bed bugs. It has Philadelphia, Cleveland, and Akron, Ohio, Los Angeles, Detroit, Indianapolis, Baltimore. And then it has Ohio to be considered the state with the most bed bugs. And that's reported by a pest control company. And it's not that it's the state with the most, it's according to their data and how much they have to go out and service for bed bugs in that particular state. It says Michigan, Florida, Illinois, and New York also has huge infestations. It says Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. And it's just a whole bunch of places, and every place is not listed. I live here in Maryland, and I know it's a great deal of people that have them here. It's a great deal of people that have them everywhere, in the UK, Australia, India, everywhere, Africa. These bugs are making their way around everywhere. But I was just doing a little research, and just wanted to see what research had showed. And a lot of people don't call pest control companies and because they can't afford them. A lot of people can't. That's where I believe I came in. When I created that video, that very first video back in December of 2021, believe it or not, it wasn't that I didn't create the video to get this far. I created the video because it was sort of heavy on my heart. I had it in mind a few times to create it, but I didn't. And it just kept coming to mind, and I didn't. And, it was this oppressing thing. That's what let me know that the Lord, this is the work of the Lord. This is something that he had to have had planned for a long time. I just had no idea that I would ever get bed bugs or that it would ever be me. But from then to now, and looking at how things took place and to where it is now, yeah, he chose me, just for this assignment. And I feel so blessed, and I feel so comfortable with all the knowledge that he's given me on how to help people get rid of them, and the number of people that I have helped get rid of them, even the number of people that I helped to get them under control. I do understand that when we get things, whether it's bed bugs or anything, and someone tells you how to do things, when you're scared, when your mind is so full, when you are nervous, when you're anxious, when you're upset, when you're confused, a lot of times we can't follow directions to, we can't follow directions to the T. We only do that when we don't have a choice. I can preach and say what I say, and a person could come back and say this. But when it get to the point where it's unbearable, or I get to the point where, you know what, if you're not going to do what I instructed you to do, okay, I'll leave it right there and leave it at that. And that's what has to happen, because sometimes you just have to be really firm and put your foot down in order for people to do what they need to do. That's just the way the world works. And me, I've been through it, so I already know what everybody's going through. I already know. And I would not wish this thing here on anybody. I would say that I would not wish it on anyone. But a lot of times when we go through things too, it feel like it's just us. It is so many people dealing with bed bugs right now. And this is not something that's just starting to take place. This has been going on for centuries. It's just that it hasn't been as popular everywhere as it is now. It's really getting popular. But the places that it's been all these years, yeah, it's been popular. And the thing about it is nobody never said anything about it. The most I've heard about bed bugs until I actually got them myself was back in the day when you go to sleep and you hear good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. And I heard that as an adult too. Sometimes, you talking to somebody, you talking to your girlfriend or whoever, they say good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. That was it. That was it. I've never heard anything about bed bugs like the bed bugs, the real ones, until I got them. And they've been around since the BCs, the caveman days. I mean, and no, I've never, ever, ever, ever heard of them or knew they existed. So it is really serious. It's very, very serious, but it's so many of us going through it. I'm not a traveler. I don't travel. I never really like traveling, and it's not because of a bug or anything. I just don't. I'm a homebody. I love being home. But for those who travel, a lot of people who are traveling are ending up with them. They're just putting like a halt in a lot of people's lives. But I try to share and spread awareness that you can definitely get rid of them. It's a lot of stuff going on out here for telling people they can't get rid of them. I was one of the people with like the Facebook groups. I was in 3 groups, I believe. And each group, and it was pest control people saying that you can't get rid of them. And then not just them, it was people following behind them because they're listening to them and saying that you can't get rid of them. Imagine what it did to my mind to hear that I got something in my house that's eating me alive and I can't get rid of them. I almost went crazy. I'm in this group, and they was talking a lot about money. A lot about spending money. $3,000 for this, $5,000 for that, this for this, that's for that. It was more money being talked about than anything. And these people we are all in different states. And all of this money. And then starting to talk about all this different equipment and things. So I quickly learned that it was just, to a lot of people, it was just a business. It wasn't even about helping people get rid of bed bugs. It was about spending money on certain equipment, certain products, and certain services for people to make money. And some of the people that was in the group had their own pest control company. They owned their own pest control companies. And that's when I did call the pest control company, have someone come out to do a free estimate to let me see. And he didn't do anything. And I totally lost faith in the pest control companies after that. All of them. I'm sorry, but all of them. Because had that not been a free estimate, I would have paid for somebody that came out that was scared, just as scared as I was. I mean, he's a human. He's a human being just as I am. He didn't want to come in and get him and take him home, but he chose that job. So you have to risk it. If you put your name down, you sign an application and fill it out, and you get employed, then you got to do your job. If you're afraid of it, don't apply for it. Don't do the job. But they're human. A lot of them are scared just like we are. They don't want to come and take no bed bugs home to their family, their wives, their girlfriends, their babies, and be getting bit up. So I had to find a way I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. And I'm figuring out as I'm getting bit. I'm still getting bit. That bites didn't stop for a while just to let me get my mind together and think. I'm thinking in a state of mind that was not even here. I was so messed up in the head, it was ridiculous. That's why I know all of this is by the grace of God. It's nowhere in the world I was able to do everything I'd done in the rational way I did. I did freak out a lot of times, and I went off in the house and things like that, but I had to get myself together. I had to get my kids' room done. I done my, and they wasn't kids. My kids were grown at the time when we had bed bugs, but they still my kids. You know, they still my babies. I had to make sure I got their rooms and stuff first. I did my room last. And mind you, I was the only one sensitive to the bites. They were getting bit, but they wasn't feeling up. The bites wasn't bothering them like they were bothering me. And they knew that after a while, when I told them, y'all, if they in there and they on your bed or whatever, you getting bit. Do you think these things walking past you are not biting you? So we started examining it, and they started seeing the little marks on them, but they wasn't itching or anything. But I already knew if I was getting bit, so were they. And that's what another thing I tell people when they come and say, well, I'm getting bit, my husband not even getting bit. Yes, your husband getting bit, and so are you. It's just that the husband, and another thing, one of my viewers did make a point of this. It does seem like us women are more sensitive to these bites than men. I'm noticing that too. And I'm going to do some research on that, because a lot of the guys are not having these issues like women. And I want to know, I want to know what's the difference in it. So yeah, I'm going to have to look that up and see if I can come up with anything. But it's something. It's something, because the men are not having as many issues as the women. And out of all the comments I get and things, yeah. And most of the men, if they come in and say something, it's because of the women, their wives or the girlfriends or the females, their lives or whatever, that are getting bit. I remember one gentleman said that they didn't do everything I said, and she was saying she was still getting bit, and he didn't believe her until I created a particular video, and then he felt bad about how he was acting towards her, and he said, you're right, you said do the whole place, and we didn't. We did not do the whole place. The only place we did was the bedroom. And she was still getting bit in the living room, you know, different or wherever. But it's one of those things where you can't half do it. You can't half step. You can't. You can do it, try it, but it's not going to work. You have to do this fully and completely. And once you come across them, you just keep up the process. It's just, you don't do it as often. Okay, guys, so I'm going to end the video here. I just wanted to come back and say this, because they everywhere. They everywhere. Everywhere. I don't think there's nowhere where they're not. You know, all of us may not have them in our homes, but they're I believe, in every city, every state, everywhere. I think they're just everywhere now. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next video.